welcome to a very, very special edition of the Music Universe podcast. Matt Bailey here with Buddy Jan. Buddy, my two worlds are colliding.
Yes, they are.
This week. The podcast that I have, my first podcast started back as a ventriloquism podcast. And now I have a celebrity interview show and a music celebrity interview show. And so ventriloquism, music, celebrity, we got all of that combined with Mr. Terry Fator and Ms. Anna Maria today, live here from Las Vegas. How are you guys?
I'm very well. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, thank you for being here.
This is awesome. I'm excited to have Anna Marie here.
Yeah.
And her mother Nicoletta, and so it's what an honor, and we're gonna have a really fun weekend, and then you're coming to my show on Sunday, right?
Yes,
and
I am. I'm really excited about
Me
that.
too. I'm excited about doing the show, and then Celia Munoz, right?
Yes,
Munoz.
yeah.
She won Spain's Got Talent, and we're going to her show tonight.
Yes.
And you saw it last night.
Yeah, she's excellent. She was supposed to be here with us. She has an incredible voice, and I will say, some of my ventriloquist friends, and this isn't a criticism, this is more of a criticism of TV. What she was doing with ventriloquism, very hard to see, very hard to understand on TV. You go see it live, that illusion works incredibly well.
I would agree with that, and I feel terrible for her that they really pressured her to not ever use a puppet, because they wanted that to be her thing. But I think that really hurt her chances in America's Got Talent last year. I really feel that had they seen that she can do it all, but it became redundant. I feel like a lot of people thought, oh, yeah, same old, and they should have let her be a little more, just explore some different avenues.
Right.
I would have preferred that.
No, I agree. But I will say, and you'll see the show tonight, and the show we're talking about is AGT Superstars. Go see that show. Go see Terry over at New York, and Who's the Dummy Now. And Anna Maria, you need to come to Vegas and get a show.
I hope so in the future.
What you'll see is she is the most well-received act.
Who's that?
Celia. Is the most well-received.
Is she really?
Yes.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Yeah,
I love to hear that. Okay.
She's incredible. She's fantastic. But I want to go back and sort of answer, what are these two doing on a music podcast? They're both musical ventriloquists. So, Terry, AGT, I think when you did it, it's called All Stars. Simon Cowell says to you, because Simon is nice now, Simon Cowell says to you, we were not going to bring Champions back in a new format if you didn't agree to do it.
True, and that was unbelievable. I mean, to have that kind of, I don't know, responsibility, to know that. And, a lot of people were very upset that I didn't make it through the first round. And I keep trying to tell people, and I'm so glad we're doing this, because I want people to know I did not do the show to try to win or anything. I wanted to get on two performances so that I could get international exposure, because this is going to be played. All Stars is going to be played all over the world, and so I really want to break into the international market. And so I made it really clear to AGT that I'm really doing this because I want the exposure, and I don't consider it a competition. I consider it a showcase of the world's greatest talent. So it worked out perfectly because I was able to perform with Anna Marie. Had I gone through and we had been competing, we could not have performed together. So if I had scripted the thing, which I didn't, by the way, but if I had scripted it, it turned out exactly as I would have wanted, was to be able to do a performance on my own and then perform with somebody else. And I said on the show that one of my dreams when I was young, and I said this when I was like 10, I said, I want to see somebody on television that says, I became a ventriloquist because I saw you perform. And that's what Anna Marie said.
Yes.
So it was like, it was a dream come true for me. So more of a dream to be able to perform with Anna Marie than it would have been had I won. So.
And Anna, there was a Got Talent in Europe that you did.
Yes,
How far did you?
Romania's Got Talent.
Yes, Romania's Got Talent. And how far did you get?
I won the show, yes, season 11, 2021.
That's awesome. Well, we don't get it here.
She was kicked off the first episode.
Yeah.
But hey, no, she won.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. life-changing, and then you get the call to come to America.
Yeah, that was amazing. When I heard it, I was like, yeah, let's do it. No second thought.
Had you been to America before?
Yes, I have been to like a master class with seminars for musicians, for artists.
Nice.
But yeah, it was very exciting to come a second time, but it was like much more of a big deal because I was on America's Got Talent All-Stars, so yeah.
And have you always sang?
Yes, I started singing when I was 5 years old. So really, music is my life. It's my first love. Ventriloquism, I discovered it because of Terry in the pandemics, and I really loved it. And yeah, that's when I started to do ventriloquism, and now I'm in love with it.
So you started doing ventriloquism during the 2020 pandemic, and
that's
then
right.
the next year you won.
Yes.
That's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Thank
I
you.
couldn't have done that. Let me put it that way. When I was young, when I first started, I could not have won something like that when I was a year later. So I'm
Thank you so much.
kudos to you.
It's so interesting because you have it's almost, I want to say, diametrically opposed successes. You got there right away. You were in your 40s when,
And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would not trade one moment. I thought I wanted to be a celebrity when I was young. In fact, a lot of this, maybe a lot of the younger people won't know what I'm talking about. I actually auditioned for the Bad News Bears Go to Japan as one of the Bad News Bears. And I did not get it, and I was crushed. I just knew I was going to be a big star. And I'm really glad I didn't, because by the time I was 42 and it all happened for me, I had my head on straight. I wasn't, to this day, I'm not impressed by my fame. It always surprises me when someone recognizes me, and it happens all the time. But it always surprises me, and I'm always grateful for it. But I don't walk around wearing my celebrity on my sleeve. I completely forget I'm a celebrity until somebody mentions my name. It's weird.
And because in our world, in sort of the music-only world, you have these people, and we talk about this on the show all the time, they're hitting it at 18, 19, sometimes even as young kids who aren't adults yet, because of TikTok, because of YouTube, and they don't have a chance to work on their craft. And I almost think, not to get negative, but I almost think that's getting lost a little bit, because Anna, I know you work on it every day, and you're just so monstrously talented.
Thank you so much.
You have more talent in your
agree.
little pinky than
Thank you.
no offense, Terry. All four of us at this table. It's just awesome.
Thank you
So
so much.
how have you been handling fame back in Romania and now fame here in the States?
Well, yeah, I'm also being like recognized by little, like children, and they're like, "Oh my God, can we take a picture?" Like, and they even sometimes bring puppets when I'm doing a show, and they're like, "Yeah, I saw you on television, and I really wanted to try it as well." And it's just such a great feeling, see that. I never thought I would get like this far, so it's a really great feeling for me.
I love that.
And well, Terry, for people that may not know, what made you decide to do AGT, especially at 42?
Well, I had tried my whole life, and I always just assumed, like I said, when I was young, I just assumed one day I'd be famous and rich, and so when I turned 40, I kind of said, well, holy cow, I'm 40. Who's ever going to care about a 40-year-old ventriloquist? I guess that dream's over. But people ask me, do you have any advice for people? And I say, my number one advice, and this is to everyone watching right now, my number one advice is never stop working toward your dream. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. As long as you have that guitar, or you're writing that poem, or you're writing that song, anything can happen. The moment you put that in the closet and you stop working toward it, the dream dies. So at 40, I thought, well, I guess that dream's over, but who cares? I still want to be the best ventriloquist in the world. And I want to be the best at what I do. And I actually said these words to myself when I was playing a lot of elementary schools, and that was really kind of where my bread and butter was at the time. And I said, I want, when I'm 60, and gosh, I'm only 2 years from 60 now, but I said, when I'm 60, I want these first graders that I'm performing for to tell their grandchildren, I saw the best ventriloquist I ever saw in my life when I was in the first grade. That was my motto. And then 2 years later, I actually got a call from America's Got Talent. They were looking for people to be on the show, and I had done a tour of performances at fairs and festivals all over the country, and people were writing into NBC saying, you got to watch this ventriloquist. He does impressions of singers. So they called and said, would you be on the show? And I said, I guess. I mean, not be on the show, would you audition? Because I didn't just automatically get on. I had to audition in front of the judges. And well, the rest is history. I mean, and that's why I say, you never know. I still determined I was going to be the best in the world when I was, 40. And I said, it doesn't matter. If I never get discovered, I still want to be the best. And I still feel that way. I want to improve every single day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, because the desert is so crystal clear, as we're landing at McCarran, I can see this man's mug and a turtle on a billboard from the sky.
Well, this is the house the turtle built, is what I call it.
So Anna, what are your goals now? Do you want to come to the States perform, continue performing in Europe? What are your goals as an entertainer now that you are well known?
Well, because I'm from Romania, of course, I want to still do shows there because children really like and really enjoy my shows there. And I enjoy it as well. But, my biggest dream is to come here, maybe really on Vegas. Because, I think that has always been my dream since I was little. So
I would like to tour with her. Maybe we can tour in Romania and then do a tour here in the States.
Yes.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be an
I think
honor
we could
for
have
me,
quite a
yes.
show.
I think you, again, I'm not sucking up because I've known this guy almost 10 years now, but I really do think, Terry, you opened a musical category for ventriloquists. People were doing it as a novelty in their acts, but people weren't going, okay, I'm a serious musician and I'm a serious ventriloquist. How do I blend those two together until you had fame?
It's funny that you say that because I actually had somebody, and I cannot remember the name of the person they were referring to, but I had somebody come and do a meet and greet when I was at the Mirage, and this person said, how does it feel to be the person who started the singing ventriloquist? And I said, what are you talking about? I honestly didn't know what they meant. I said, oh, you're like so-and-so, and I can't remember the name, as Buddy well knows. I've met you many times, and I had to ask what Buddy's name was again. I'm terrible with names. As soon as I hear a name, it goes right out of my head until there's something. It took me like a year to learn my band's names when I had a band back at the Mirage.
And that's
so
why Julius calls him Jeff Dunham.
Oh, yes, exactly. And I'm totally okay with that. But so this guy, he comes in and he goes, well, yeah, you're kind of like so-and-so, this famous magician who started the bird craze of magicians. This is way back in like the 1800s or early 1900s. And he started producing doves. And he's the father of all of that. And they told me that you're the father of the singing ventriloquist. And I was like, what? I honestly didn't even know it. And the person said, oh, yeah, now every ventriloquist sings. They're right. Every time I see a ventriloquist now, they sing.
Well, it's like
and they tell me I started that. So it's kind of weird. I don't feel, I'm happy to see it. Some of them are terrible singers, but hey, man, if it works, it works,
There's also an entertainer on the Strip, I'm not going to say who, we'll talk about it afterwards, that we saw last night who closes their show the way you used to close your show, with Kermit and Louis Armstrong.
Really?
Yep. So
I'm still doing that bit, man. I'm suing. I'm kidding.
It's a little bit more impressive when you do it. There's a hint.
Really? Okay.
There's a hint there as to who it is.
I can't wait to see.
But no, he comes out with a Kermit puppet, which you were told by NBC.
You can do it live. You just can't do it on television. So if this person wanted to do it on television, unless the Muppets gave them permission, things might have changed, but I was flat out turned down to be able to use Kermit. So that's how Winston the Impersonating Turtle was invented, though. Because he didn't come around until I had to create something that would allow me to do Kermit. So.
And you got to sing with Kermit then on the finale.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So Anna Maria, have you gotten to meet any, other than Terry, of course, have you gotten to meet any of your other heroes since RGT and AGT?
Well, in Romania, there are a few ventriloquists, but it's really not that popular. So in Romania, I didn't meet anyone that was like my hero, my idol. But besides Terry, I didn't actually meet, so that's why I'm really excited because next week there's gonna be the Van Haven convention, and I'm really happy that I will be there and meet a lot of ventriloquists, kid ventriloquists, celebrity ventriloquists, and it's just gonna be amazing. It will be my first time, so.
It's so cool for her because I'm so excited that you get to go. My dream was to go to the Vent convention since I was 10. And I wanted so, and then I couldn't afford it, never could afford it, and our family just didn't have the funds, which is why I actually set up a scholarship a while back, and I was sending them. I did that for a while, and then it just got, I'm too busy, I just can't do it anymore. But that's why I did that, and then. And then when I started making enough money, I was too busy because July was my busy season with the fairs, and there was no way I could turn the money down. And now I'm just too busy because I'm always working. I do 300 shows a year, and so it's. But when I finally did get to go, many 30-something years later, it was crazy because I was like a big deal, and that's what I'm excited for you because you're a big deal. You've won Romania's Got Talent. You came in the top 4 in America's Got Talent. No, you got to perform with me. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But no, this is going to be really fun. It's going to. I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to see your posts.
What was so cool 15 years ago when you came to Van Haven for the first time? And I think, Anna, you're going to have this sensation too. And we'll get back to the music in a minute, buddy. Don't worry. You had, and I can say this because I know you now, you had such a deer in the headlights look about you.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, I'm this loved. I'm this. Like, people would not leave you alone.
No, that's true. But it wasn't just that. It was walking into the puppet room where they're selling puppets. I'm like, I want to buy them all. It was so surreal to be able to go in. And, sadly, I only, again, so busy. Ever since I won America's Got Talent, I've just been one of the hardest working people in show business. I work all the time. So I had one day, and we went in. Usually when I've gone, because one time you kind of helped me get there. Yeah. I took a red eye after a show in Vegas. I had to try to get a couple of hours of sleep, and then it's a whirlwind. And I really hope in the future that I can go and spend a whole week there and really get to know the people and talk to the people, because I love people. I love meeting other ventriloquists, and so it's not going to be an annoyance. But
well, Anna, you said you've been wanting to sing since you were like 5. What kind of music were you subjected to growing up, and then made you want to go that career path?
Well, when I was at the beginning, like 6 years old, I'd say I started learning really powerful songs on my voice because I wanted to go to music contests, and that's what made you win the show. Mm-hmm. So that's how I started. But then I started getting more into the pop culture and R&B, jazz, soul. I really love this kind of music. Mm-hmm. But right now I mostly sing also Romanian songs, but I sing like everything, any type of music.
Yeah. Are you into, and I have to ask this because my daughter who's running the camera and stuff, she loves K-pop, she loves Twice. Are you guys into that over there yet?
In Romania, I love, I have a lot of friends that love those kind of
like
songs.
BTS, Twice,
I know, and it's popular in Romania. I'm not the biggest fan, I don't listen to K-pop, but I'm not against it either. Yeah. I think it's a taste thing.
Yeah. And do you get like a lot of, because when we travel sometimes, and last year we went and saw, you may have heard of him, Garth Brooks in Ireland. He's like big in Europe, but rarely ever goes over there.
I've never heard of that guy. Who is it?
Do you get a lot of American pop music introduced over there?
Well, not the biggest ones, like the most famous, like Beyonce, like those are not Taylor Swift, no. But there are some artists. I've never been to a lot of concerts. I've been in 1 or 2 concerts, but I really want in the future to get to these shows. But what I saw and what I've heard, there are not a lot of American artists coming to Romania.
Well, did you hear? How were you subjected to them? Was it because of the internet, through radio? Since live concerts really, aren't a thing too much for that kind of music. How did you get introduced to them personally?
Well, all the time, like on the streets, you see posters and those stuff, and on the internet, everywhere. So you basically, if you search it up, you find a lot of
just
shows.
kind of
Yeah.
get indulged with it.
Yes.
Right?
And then Terry, you have an album from several years ago, a few years ago. It's probably further back than I want to admit now. Called "It Starts Tonight." I love that record.
Thank you.
Love that record. And you sing, of course, without the puppets in the show. The joke is because people come to the show don't realize he can sing.
That means I'm doing my job.
Without moving his mouth, right?
Yes.
Of all things.
Any plans to maybe go back in the studio, do some just Terry Fator?
I've already been talking to my producer, and we're getting a collection of songs together. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to do songs that have influenced me, over the years, things that have meant something to me for whatever reason. And we don't have liner notes anymore. Back in the day, when I'd get a record, there were liner notes. But I'm gonna figure out a way to kind of write a little something about whatever song it was that I did. That way, people. So
He's a big physicals guy
Yeah.
and collects CDs because of that.
yeah.
So I was going to ask you about that too, because now we're in this digital age. You grew up probably with vinyls, and I grew up with CDs. Vinyl.
I go back to 8-track, my friend.
Well, okay. I had cassettes and then got into CDs, and now vinyl is such a huge thing these days.
I love that too. I love that.
I don't quite get it, because we have a mutual friend that I argue with over the superior quality of a CD.
No, you're absolutely right, and there is much superior quality. However, I really think the fact that it's digital, I think something happens in the brain that it doesn't move some people, not everybody, but it doesn't move some people as much. The analog, the fact that it is analog, it's something that's happening without ones and zeros. I think there's something psychological and subconscious that's going on in certain people's brains. Not everyone,
Right.
but when I hear something from a record, an actual record album, it does something to my heart that listening to it on my iPhone doesn't do. Doesn't mean I have every song that I've ever loved on my iPhone. But boy, when I hear it on a record, and some of them I actually transferred to the record so I could hear the pops, so I could hear the hisses and the pops. I love that. But it's because it's nostalgic for me.
Right. And see, I can't quite
It's
get
the
into
warmth.
I own some vinyl, mostly because they're like special editions, which is cool because you can, do colors.
Oh, for sure.
I know as if we're recording this, Foreigner announced a farewell companion album limited to 5,000, and it's gold.
Wow.
And they're numbered.
Wow.
And it's only, I think, available during their tour. So, stuff like that is cool, and I would buy that, even though it's $50 for a single disc. But with the CD, you don't have to flip it.
No.
And you get
You're
art.
right.
You
And
get artwork.
and I love the fact, man, but back in the day when I would travel in a bus, because I was in a band for 15 years, longer than
Texas
you've been
the
alive. And Texas the band for 15 years. And I used to carry this. Well, first I had this giant thing of cassettes that would carry like 120 cassettes. Then I got the CD things. And so you don't know what it's like to be driving a bus and looking for your CD, and everybody's asleep in the back, and it's just thank God I didn't crash the bus. But we're switching CDs out in the middle, so it's so nice to have that. And then of course XM radio changed my freaking life. It meant that I got, and the radio didn't fade out when I was driving.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what we listened to coming up from Bakersfield. And I'm all about having my digital versions, but if I have to choose, it's going to be CD with a digital companion, so I can have the access. But when you say,
and I would agree with that. It's like I collect movies, and I collect
Same
the
with me,
movies, the 4K disc. I want to have the disc, but I almost always watch the streaming one that came in.
because
So
there's another,
it's easy.
Because there's another thing side to that. They can't take that disc from you.
Right,
No
right.
matter which format.
That's
it is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong with the internet, it's like, hey, let's watch a movie, honey, and I pop it into my. And of course, I still use like an Xbox One and a PS5 to do it.
Because she's
so
like,
that's-
where's Titanic streaming? I go, well, it's on Paramount. She goes, well, it was on Netflix. I go, licensing.
Uh-huh,
And if
exactly.
we didn't have Paramount,
And eventually everything may go away.
Celine has put up, or a fan account for Celine has put up, the concert from 2007, the very first show that ever went into Caesar's Palace. We're getting into some Vegas history now, folks. The very first show that ever went into the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace.
with the slanted stage.
When the stage was the opera stage. And they filmed it. and they did 3 documentaries. I said, buddy, you should watch these 3 documentaries on YouTube, perfect quality. Within 3 minutes, he'd ordered the Blu-ray. He was like, I'm not watching it till he gets it.
I'm like you though, because I don't like. I really hate pirated crap. It's like you go in and you watch. It's shaky, and I want to see it in 4K, and I want to hear it I want to hear explosions all around. I've got I'll show you my theater. I've got an actual home theater with a 160-inch screen. And I'm telling you, I will not watch that garbage. I want to see the original, actual, with the highest quality possible.
If I can own it, I will buy it.
Me too.
We hit everywhere we go. We usually hit up music stores. When we were in Europe, I was buying CDs left and right. I'm like, you can't get them this cheap, and you can't get these versions over there, and you got all that.
Yeah.
So it kind of leads back to the liner notes you were talking about. You said you're going to write something up. Are you planning perhaps to release a physical version where they can
I
read
will,
that?
yes, I will. I'll be releasing CDs, mainly because they're 100% of everything I sell, 100% of the proceeds of it, because I have people that I have to pay to run the foundation, goes to my charity, the Terry Fator Foundation, and we help military, first responders, and other charities, kids with cancer and things like that. And so if I have a physical CD to sell and people buy it, all of the money that I make from that, other than the small amount that would be going towards salaries, would go to the foundation. So whereas if it's just streaming, I only make a much less percentage. So I'm all about giving as much as I possibly can. So.
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing, and it's so wonderful you do that. And on this album, please put God Bless the USA, because that is my favorite. I love the puppets, but that is my favorite moment.
And what's funny is I used to do it in an impression of Lee Greenwood, and lately I've been doing it in my own voice. So I think that probably will happen. I'll probably put God Bless the USA on in my own voice, in my own style. So that'll be fun. And
Anna Maria, any plans, because I know you're such a pure singer as well, any plans to go in the studio, maybe do an album?
Of course, I've always wanted to do that. I haven't done that until this moment. But,
keep me in mind for a duet.
Yeah, yes, of course.
And we'll move our lips.
Yes, that would be great. But yes, sure. After I come back from the US, maybe I'll start doing some stuff, because I really want to. Because I'm a singer, not only a ventriloquist. So.
Do you write your own music?
No, but I really want to start songwriting. I've been interested in this kind of stuff, but I just didn't have the time to do that until now. Yeah. So I will start, because...
I don't know if you have an iPhone or what, but a good thing, because I used to play music years ago, and I write, and I always have ideas. Just pull out your notepad on your phone and type up the lyrics or hum a little thing in your thing. It's perfect, and go back and build on that as you can.
It strikes me, and I've known you for how long, Terry, and I've never had this thought before. It's almost like the ventriloquism and the puppets are your instruments through which you're playing your music.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
There's no doubt. And I think to call me and Anna Marie and Celia, we are ventriloquists, but we're so much more. I mean, when you're as good a singer as you are a ventriloquist, or when you're as good a comedian as you are a ventriloquist, it's like, tell you the story, when my wife Angie and we've been married now almost 8 years. We've been together 8 years. It's amazing. And my sister hired her to cater. She was a caterer, and she catered a charity event I was doing. And they were like, we're going to put these two together, So they did. And they said, oh, we got this famous ventriloquist that you need to meet. We want you to meet him. And she goes, no, I'm out. No, I don't want to meet a ventriloquist. I don't care. So then she sees about 10 minutes of my show the night that we did the event. And she told a friend, she said, oh, to call this guy a ventriloquist, that doesn't even begin to express it. And I feel the same way about you, and I feel the same way about Celia. So if somebody we are ventriloquists, and I'm incredibly proud to be a ventriloquist, and I'm incredibly proud to be part of the ventriloquist community. And I say, whenever, as you know, when a ventriloquist comes to my show, it doesn't matter whether they're famous or they're just getting started. I always say it's always fun to have a colleague, and I try to announce them if I can. Yeah. And I say it's nice to have a colleague. I feel every ventriloquist is a colleague. So I'm not demeaning being a ventriloquist. I'm just saying we're much more than ventriloquists. We got a lot more going on.
But I think what it teaches is that ventriloquism and I might get flagged for this, but I think in order for ventriloquism to survive, it has to be more than just ventriloquism anymore.
I think that's true.
Yes.
It has to be
Well,
more.
not necessarily because, I say that because Jeff Dunham is pretty much a pure ventriloquist, although
Yes.
he is a
He
stand-up comedian.
Yeah, that's
took
right.
stand-up and the aggression of stand-up humor into the ventriloquism format, which is why he was so laugh out loud funny without being hokey, without the
Yeah, and that's
traditional
but
ventriloquism
my point is he's far more of a traditional
Right.
ventriloquist. He's really a
Right.
stand-up comedian that uses
Right.
ventriloquism as a vehicle. It's kind of like an Abbott Costello, but it's
Yeah.
one person, which is what ventriloquism always was. Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen.
Right.
So I think you're wrong there in a sense because I think a really good ventriloquist who has really good material does not have to have other things.
Right.
It's just I'm a big proponent of if you have a talent, you need to do it. So it doesn't matter if you're a juggler. I had my drummer in Texas the Band juggled. Played the keyboard and the drums all at the same time. It
Oh
was the
my
most
God.
crazy thing you've ever seen. And because my attitude at the time, I said, "What kind of talent do you have? Let's get it in the show." And that's why I do all this stuff because I'm like, "Well, I can sing. I'm going to do that. I can do puppet. Oh, let's do that."
You
and
can
so
do multimedia.
yeah,
There's
so-
some of that in the
yeah,
show.
yeah. So it's like I'm a real big proponent of if you can do it, you should. If it's a talent you have, put it in your act. And you
Yes.
never know what's going to happen.
That's
So.
right. I also when I auditioned for Romania's Got Talent, I auditioned 2 times as a singer, but it just it's not that you're not talented, but there are a lot of singers,
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the next year when I discovered ventriloquism, I was like, okay, where they opened the auditions, I was like, why don't I go as a singer ventriloquist? And after that, I got right in.
Yeah, exactly, and then you won.
Yeah, I won. Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
but see, that's what my point is.
Yeah.
When you have one thing, usually you're going to be competing against a lot of people.
Right.
When you do more than one thing and you do it well, you really kind of put yourself in a whole new category. So
Yeah, and I'm going to brag on her a minute, even though she's off camera, because you see the shirt she's wearing. We did the Superstars last night, and they were calling out people when we were second row, and I said, she sings, and they let her get up
did you get up and sing?
and sing.
Oh, that's
30
fantastic.
seconds.
She has a beautiful voice. She really does.
That's amazing. That's so
great.
cool. Are you gonna try out for America's Got Talent possibly?
Possibly.
You should.
She wants to do
The voice.
the voice
Oh,
because
that's
she
great.
wants that mentorship. With
You should. It
Yes.
can't hurt you. It's
Yes.
unless you're really, really bad, it can't hurt you. Wilma Schwartz, a dear
right.
friend of mine, a fellow ventriloquist, she has tried out so many times for America's Got Talent, it gets discouraged. And I'm like, Wilma, don't give up. Try every single year. And if you never make it, who cares? You'll write new material for it. It's going to make you better. And eventually, I think Wilma will be the darling of America. I think they're going to fall in love with her. And I keep telling her, just keep going. Don't ever stop working toward your dream. And if your dream is to be on The Voice, if they turn you down, go again the next year.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes.
stop. Because when you stop, the dream dies. That's my point.
That's what
That's
I
my
told her.
point.
She was telling me, well, that
You
may-
cannot let
it
one.
may never happen.
I can tell you this, and you're young, so you don't know how this feels. 42, I had been rejected 500 times.
Oh, wow.
And I even said on America's Got Talent, I said, I've been trying to do this now for decades. This is probably my last shot to really make it. And look what happened. My God, I've set bars that are ridiculous that I never could have dreamed. I decided I wanted to go to the moon, and I ended up going to Mars, for crying out loud. It's amazing. It's like,
really is.
and it was because I didn't give up, and I didn't let the rejection stop me. And
Right.
and you did the same thing though.
Yes.
You got rejected a couple of times as a singer. Said,
Yeah.
well, you know what? I'm just going to go be a ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist.
Because
Yeah.
aren't you 13?
I'm 14. I just
Okay.
turned
She
14.
Ooh, 14.
She just turned
Yes.
13. So.
Oh, really?
And she gets chosen in choir all the time to do solos. I'm like, you got to capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Yeah,
to
that's
continue to
Do it.
work
Do
on
it, Jesse.
And
Yes.
before we go, because we are wow, we're almost at 40 minutes, and then I know you had something.
Well, I have something
Yeah, I
to tell
know.
Anna Marie.
But before we get there, and we got to get Anna Marie's mom, please come back into the room. Nicoletta! What you see is what you get. I've just met Anna Marie, and you can see how genuine she is. What you get is what you see is what you get with Terry.
I'm gonna let her know.
What you see is what you get with Terry. He's a genuine soul. There are so many entertainers in this town that see other people starting to do what they do or something derivative or something that's inspired by what they do, and they get really defensive. They back off. You saw the minute we started rolling, he sat down and gave her a hug. That is so rare of somebody of your caliber to say, okay, I'm just going to take the next generation under my wing. So
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
So Anna Marie, you're in town. You're going to come.
Yes.
You're going to go see Celia with me tonight, which is
Yes.
going to be a lot of fun.
That's
I mean, there's other people there, but they don't matter. My wife. Just kidding. But and then tomorrow you're flying to Disneyland, and you're going to stay at the Disneyland Hotel. And tomorrow you get to go, you and your mother, and I'm hoping, no, I don't think there's, but we're going to have another young lady who is a very dear friend of mine's daughter, and she's super sweet. She's going to join us on Saturday, and Angie and I are going to join you on Saturday. We're going to take a guide, and we're going to get the celebrity treatment, so no lines, and so we are going to be going to Disneyland, and that's my happy place. My wife and I, we just went 2 weeks ago. My wife and I, and then two weeks before that, we went to Disney World. So it's it's my place that I go to unwind, and we're taking you, and we're gonna show you. You're gonna be able to ride every ride in both parks. So.
Thank you so much. I'm speechless right now. It's amazing.
And by the way, if you want to see this, we're going to be both posting on our socials.
Yes.
And I'm going to be posting the heck out of this. So if you want to watch me and Anna Marie and the rest of the gang, we're going to have so much fun, and we're going to let you share with us through social media.
Yeah, give everybody, both of you guys, give everybody your socials and websites so they can.
You first.
Yeah. Okay, Anna Maria Marjan official, Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, Anna Maria Marjan, everywhere.
And I'm just Terry Fator at everything. So anything is at Terry Fator.
Yeah.
Are you both on TikTok?
TikTok as
Yes.
well, yeah.
Okay, I've been trying to avoid it, but yeah,
We'll
try But it's like a trend right
You're
now,
young.
so-
I don't get TikTok. I do videos. I have my social media
Yes.
person, but you are young, so we'll try to do some TikToks while we're at
Yeah,
Disneyland.
we'll try, because it's a trend now, so
Yes,
everyone's basically
exactly.
on TikTok.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Terry, Anna Maria, thank you for this. This
you.
was a fantastic conversation.
Yes.
Thanks for talking event, talking music, talking everything. If you can catch him, Anna Maria, I think you'll be touring the U.S. before you know it. Terry is touring the U.S. constantly, as well as the show here in Vegas. So check out terryfator.com and make sure you go see him, because, like we were talking about with Celia, and again, it's not a knock; it's more a knock on the medium. You can be amazed when you see something on a screen. You have to go see it live.
Yes.
You have to go see what Terry does live to really understand it. So thank you very much, both of you. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
This was fun.
This was fun. For the Music Universe Podcast, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on socials at The Music Uni, and check us out at themusicuniverse.com. Take care.
And enjoy Disney.
Thank you so much.